They actually made me stop driving when I was driving. Like, we were in the car.
Looking,
they were like, I'm gonna drive back, Kevin. Like, get out of there. And I actually, like, it was funny because we were here for 3 days or something, 2.5 days, and we just had meetings all day long and, like, planning sessions and everything else. And so I rented a car, like, right away, and I was like, guys, if we have to be at a meeting at 9 a.m., that means we have 2 hours of, like, daylight that we can use in the morning. So we're going to Independence Pass. We're going to Maroon Bell. It's like, we're just going to find out in the margins. We're going to, like, make the most of this. Like, because it's
gorgeous, isn't it? It's amazing.
Crazy. And, like, in June, too, it's like when all the trees have, like, first kind of, like, budded into their green. Like, it's that, like, lighter shade of pale green with the firs behind it. It was, like, bonkers.
So many different colors in your skin.
I'm glad that you have such a vivid memory of it. I just remember you waking me up in the morning, let's go drive up the mountain. But I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, but it's incredible, right? And I'm definitely like an ocean guy too. But maybe not so much anymore.
Yeah, we have lakes. They're pretty cool. The water's cold as shit, but I mean at the same time it's pretty cool. So I mean we can sell you on it if you give us a minute.
Have at it, man. I don't even know if you need to actually.
It sells itself. We're transplants as well, so it sold us on it. So.
Where are you guys from originally?
So I'm originally from Alabama. I grew up kind of near the Gulf Coast. So when I first moved out here, water, like missing the Gulf Coast, missing the fresh seafood.
Takes time to get used to.
But the mountains and some of these views, man, and the summers out here. Nobody knows about the summers out here. They're the best, and they grab hold of you.
Yeah. That's what everyone says. You come for the winter, you stay for the summers. It's
there you
insane.
go. It's true.
And I'm originally from Mississippi, so I used to ski out here. And so after school, I was like dicking around. I was like, I'm not doing Mississippi anymore. This place, if you've done it once, you've done it, for 20, whatever. So I moved out here, and I was thinking, I'm going to become this huge ski bum. I'm going to get 50 days a year. And then I was like, oh, my God, the summers are absolutely epic. I was spending them most at Red Rocks and doing concerts and goofing off. We have a pretty big friend group, so it sold me, and I've snuck off to New Orleans for a little while and then came right back. I was like, nope, it's way too hot down there. So it spoiled me. It's like New Zealand of the States. It's how we like. You can do everything. You can ski one day and then you drive down into the valley and play some golf or skydive if it's nice enough. So
it's one of the things we keep hearing that same story, right? Like I came for one season. And that was 30 years ago, right? Like you just you hear that enough times and it's going to like impress you in a certain way, right? And that's like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've literally heard and that number too. It's like, oh, it was 30 years ago. Maybe it's something to do with our demographic, but still.
Yeah, maybe do a spring
those damn blue hairs. those gray folks, those older ones.
So when you guys got into Colorado, have you been able to spend time in our city, Denver, or? Have you gotten to explore Denver at all?
We were there for an hour.
Yeah, driving in. We have a buddy who worked with us, BJ, and we kind of grabbed a little lunch with him, and that was kind of about the extent of it. We saw where the Broncos play, which was pretty cool for me. But yeah.
There you go. So what we usually like to do is we like to ask, like, oh, what's your favorite spots around Denver or, Boulder, whomever we're sitting with. Mm-hmm. But since y'all are New York guys, and our listeners would probably kind of get love to see a little insight on y'all's lives. We may pick y'all's brains on favorite cheap eats meals. I mean, I know y'all are probably big Sparrow pizza guys, so we want to, as well as maybe your happy hours and maybe a couple date spots. So, Chris, you want to lead the way with our usual segments of Colorado?
Yeah. So, first,
or we could do Aspen too. We could ask them, where's your favorite bar to party in Aspen when y'all do have a night off?
I'm going to Eric's a lot.
Yeah, I go to Eric's a lot. I like Hooch. I think Hooch is a really, really cool, chill bar. They kind of take care of us pretty well there, so that's nice. Yeah, Eric's is cool. There's pool tables and everything.
Silver City Saloon is a pretty cool place too. We had a lot of fun there. And this is like so embarrassing, but I've been going to New York Pizza like a lot. There's a place in Aspen called New York Pizza. I mean, good enough that I'm there. I've been there
I order tasty.
I was going to say
football Sunday. So.
I've been in Aspen for 6 weeks and I've been to New York Pizza like 12 times. So,
And like y'all said, it's like if there was y'all eat McDonald's a fair often. It's like New York Pizza is like your jam.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to think of other places that we've like.
Have y'all managed to catch a show with I mean, I know y'all, like you said, you've only been here for a minute, but have y'all been able to catch the Belly Up or go see Rory and those boys over there?
Yeah, I wanted to go, but it's so busy. We've been busy opening the restaurant, but it's busy over there too, so it's hard to kind of get in. But I would love to go check out Belly Up.
Yeah, a bunch of people have been. They've seen some cool shows. We're always here on Friday and Saturdays and stuff like that when all those like shows are kind of in town. Like we're behind the stick, so to speak. So
yeah, that's fair. So all right, so we'll pick your brain a little bit of the New York nature. Obviously, y'all are huge listeners and fans of the podcast, and so are so many other people in New York because it resonates. But yeah, we'll go ahead and tease it. Let's ask some New York questions. You visited fairly often. Pick the brains. Ask them some. What's your favorite date spot in New York? Let's say you get $100, what can you do for a date night in New York? I mean, I feel like that wouldn't even go very far.
Probably no, you could do some. You could still do some pretty cool damage.
I'm more
for
of
$100.
like probably just kind of grab something super simple, grab some like Mexican food or some food in Chinatown, and then go for a cocktail. I think dates I usually just go for cocktails, but that's kind of my thing. I think New York City is a great town for that. So like, what are some of the cocktail bars?
If you had $100.
Well, I guess that's not fair because it's like $15 for a cocktail drink minimum. So I'll give you whatever. But
I used to go to this place called Roberta's all the time. You can
in Brooklyn,
in Bushwick, and you can get in and out with some drinks and some food for under $100. And I used to love going there.
And then just like us, just a casual guy.
No, yeah, for
just
sure.
With a great craft and skill.
And then there's
craft and skill yourself.
There's a couple of, for sure. There's a couple like taco places too in Bushwick where you can go and get like for like $10 you can get 3 tacos. I don't even remember their names though. I just know where they are.
It's kind of like all those little neighborhood spots you go to where I order Seamless a lot because I'm tired and get out of bed at 2:00 and then feel bad about myself at 5:00 after I've ordered delivery. But I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. If you were going
to like Cats, I always love going to Cats. I think it's always
it's great. Like, so where Harry Met Sally, that's always like a fun thing to do, though it's pretty expensive now as well.
Are y'all nightclub guys? Are y'all a Broadway show guys? What's the fun things like? Let's pretend, God forbid, y'all got a night off. In the industry, it's probably pretty difficult. What's the if you're not tired and you're like the batteries are charged, you got a little tip in your pocket. What's the game plan? How would you court a night out with if us donkeys came to town? How would y'all show us New York?
Ooh, I don't know.
Strip clubs?
There's definitely strip clubs. There's a couple of funny things. We were actually laughing about this, by the way. Is like,
I am Queens Boulevard.
Yeah, there's like the Rich and I are really like kind of, we're not like homebodies, but we're like fairly calm dudes. Like I would not say like we're like party animals by any stretch of the imagination.
I think back in the day I was a little more.
Back in the day I definitely was a little bit more. But like, if it would depend on like what you guys wanted to see. Like we could cater like anything to anybody. I think for like 2 people from Colorado who had never been in New York before, probably what I would do is like, either like pack like some type of bottle, like either wine or some cocktails or some shit, and get on the Staten Island ferry for free. And you can take that Staten Island ferry directly across and just back. It's like 10 minutes each way, and you get like a perfect view of New York City, and it's free. Which is
I've never been, so I'm writing these notes down. I'm going to be visiting this summer to come goof off with y'all.
Nice, please do. Yeah. And that's like a really cool way to see the city and also like do something at the same time, especially if you go around like sunrise or sunset. Sunrise is usually at the end of something, not at the beginning.
Right.
And then
depends on when you start your night or party.
I mean, like in terms of the cocktails too, like Dear Irving is a place that's really fun to go to.
Yeah, super classic.
One thing that no one ever knows is that you can actually walk right into 11 Madison Park, by the way. We have walk-in space at the bar. So like going in, you can have one of the best cocktails of your life and walk into a 3 Michelin star restaurant and get a seat right away without question, which is pretty awesome.
I'm going to probably try that as well.
I'll be there.
Expensive. We'll justify it for the
There we go. And then
R&D, baby.
The other thing too is that, that there's that Shake Shack right there in the middle of Madison Square Park.
Shake Shack's great.
And that's like our for us, that was like our life's blood for a long time. When I started at 11 Madison Park, Shake Shack still was associated. I folded napkins for 8 months on the freezer where Shake Shack kept their French fries. It's like very funny. The R&D kitchen where Chef Rich was, not the R&D kitchen, sorry, the PDR kitchen where Chef Rich was the PDR chef for years, or a year or two actually, was the Shake Shack kitchen too, which is pretty wacky. So we have a lot of affinity and love for them.
Yeah. Well, that's lucky y'all then, because this is another perfect segue by me. Y'all are actually partnering up with Shake Shack for this week's X Games.
Yes, we are.
Y'all are giving me a menu that I can even live off of with burgers and fries.
And all I would live off of.
Yeah, stoner food, my friend. But
I think we're more excited than anybody else, by the way, that Shake Shack's coming.
Dude, I'm going to say this Alpine Swiss burger. looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, it'll take you out.
It's gonna be outrageous. You might need a nap afterwards, but it's gonna be awesome.
So let's talk about that collaboration. You want to give a little shout out to, obviously, Shake Shack is fire, and we just got one in Denver. Since I guess they did the IPO and things, but I tried the one below Cindy's in Chicago, I believe. That overlooks the Bean, and I was like, this is, fuck In-N-Out. Shake Shack wins in that competition every time.
How do you feel about that, Chef Rich? How do you feel?
No comment.
I'm
California.
Yeah.
I think they each do a very wonderful job.
You bring it up In-N-Out, by the way, we debate this with frequency. And I know the California guys feel the way that they feel, and I feel the way that I feel, and that Shake Shack's the best possible burger.
Have y'all done a side-by-side? Like, you need to get In-N-Out.
We haven't. I don't know how we would do that. Is there a Shake Shack in
Vegas
California somewhere? Or Vegas, I guess. That you would do it.
I do like Vegas.
Yeah. For now, it's just it's an opportunity for shit talking, right? And we, and the thing about it is, we talk, there's our executive sous chef Andy Quinn talks about this idea of the integrity burger. Have you ever had a burger where you take a bite and everything slides out the back? Fucking hate that, right?
It sucks.
So if you take a bite of a Shake Shack burger, by the way, nothing changes. You get like a little piece of each item on each bite. It's kind of ideal, and I feel like In-N-Out does not have integrity.
It's
just
got
saying.
integrity. I'm not going to knock the Shake Shack. I love Shake Shack. I love what they do. I think it's amazing.
He really sold that really well. Like, he made me think about all the bad burgers I've had in my life.
Right?
You have to take a shot at In-N-Out to compliment Shake Shack.
I hate it when my tomato slides off, though.
That's what I'm
it's
saying,
really annoying
right?
because that bite,
And we're not saying In-N-Out does that per se.
No.
Just take a big bite, guys.
In-N-Out's delicious, but Shake Shack is just Shake Shack. And, it's got a lot of integrity is what I'm trying to say,
So y'all it seems like y'all found a solid partner, one y'all can back and believe in.
You know what's kind of wacky, too, by the way, is when our owner, Will, started, his restaurant career in New York, the first general manager he worked for was Randy Garutti, and Randy Garutti is the CEO of Shake Shack. So in
some small world stuff right there as
for
well.
sure, and Randy Garutti has a house across the street from the Summer House. So it's a kind of a cool small world kind of thing, which is great. And for us, we're so excited that they're coming here for a number of reasons, not least of which my obvious and overwhelming love of Shake Shack. But also it's just we were talking again, this place, Colorado, just in general, has got this really calm, cool, mellow vibe. And while you do, like I said earlier, you can do delicious, wonderful, high quality things and not be pretentious about it. And one of the most fun things for us is to be able to do in what is I'm doing air quotes here, fine dining environment, but serve Shake Shack in our yurts. It's unreal for us. It's so much fun. It's what I got into this business for was to be able to do silly, fun, playful things just like that.
We're going to put out a couple hundred burgers out of that kitchen over there and turn this whole yurt village into a Shake Shack. So,
dude, it's going to be more than a couple hundred burgers. I don't think you're understanding how many folks come to town for X Games.
Yeah.
It's going to get rowdy. So I would say a couple thousand. But you're right. This is going to hit.
Gotta get on the phone real quick and test my order.
It's going to be packed house. There's going to be a lot of folks here, and especially with all the success we had in the Winter Olympics, we're fired up for the X Games coming to town this week. So shout out to ESPN. I can't believe they were dumb enough to give me media credentials to all the events.
Sick.
So we're going to see some really stupid content come out. But we'll also, y'all may actually see my face at that bar in there frequently eating these burgers and fries.
Please do. Just let us know.
And I will give you, this is one thing that we kind of screwed Rich on. The animal style fries is something that the Shake Shack, while delicious crinkle cut, doesn't play as well as the animal style. So In-N-Out may have it on the
I do
sides.
like animal styles. I like to get them well done, get the fries well done because you kind of have to do that.
They have
with
to be
them.
super crunchy.
Yeah, you gotta get them well done, and then I love animal style.
I can't believe anyone would bring up In-N-Out's French fries.
Then you got to get them well done.
I just like
you just have to know how to order. It's made for Californians.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, and I'm a kind of a Five Guys myself, where the fries are soggy, so that ruins it. But the burgers are the sogginess, how I want it to be, greasy.
I
and
like the Five Guys sloppy mushrooms, onions, and everything. On the burger. I like that.
There's something about that greasy sack kind of burger that's there's I don't know, man. It tastes like growing up. It's great.
It's gluttonous,
and
you're I know
you always wanted when you were a little kid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a gut bomb, and
I don't know how they fit that much stuff in one burger, to be honest.
I don't get it either, but it's awesome. And I appreciate them for doing it.
Thank you for their service.
So if we're still kind of talking about some NYC stuff, what's your favorite borough?
borough?
Yeah.
Aren't there 5 of them?
There's 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm brilliant.
It's hard for me to say. I grew up in Queens. Like, I feel like if I didn't say Queens was my favorite borough, there'd be a big problem. But I love Brooklyn. I really do. I lived there for 10 years. Like, I really love Brooklyn.
Has it changed a lot? Because you hear about, like, it is, like, the mecca of hipsters and, like, what is it, Williamsburg.
Yeah.
So, like, you've been there for a while. Like, is it kind of like, we've seen this same transformation in Denver. It's like, we were just a steak and potatoes place not 10 years ago, and then we got this big green rush, so to speak. And now we have, dankness flying everywhere. We have chefs, James Beard Award winners. We have creative minds, that are coming up here, like Merlin Verrier and Kelly Whitaker, or, Alex Siddell. I hate to name